Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new around here, my name is Katie, I'm a full-time sketchbook artist, and today I've got an art haul to share with you. So this has been collected over the last couple of months, and I've got a mix of things here. So we've got some art books, some sketchbooks, some art materials like gouache and brush pens, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you. I'll be swatching the art materials as we go, but let's start with the art books. So if you saw my vlog last week where I was getting my creative spark back, you'll have seen this one already. This one is Thiebaud Draftsman. This is published by Talens and Hudson. I bought this online and I really like it. So I want to go to the Hearld gallery to see the Thiebaud exhibition. But this book, which I already made some notes on and read the first few chapters, but this focuses on his drawing and I found it so fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to now seeing the paintings at the gallery. Some really lovely, interesting marks in here. I really enjoy his work and learning more about how he uses mediums. So really enjoying this book. I really love art books. I find them really fascinating and really helpful to sort of understand why they create the way that they do. And I also really like the design of this one. I really like the pink. And yeah, it's been fascinating so far, so I highly recommend this one. Now the other book that I bought was this one. Now I do have a book by Hearld already, which was his workbook. I shared that also in a recent video, so I'll link that up in the cards and down below. But that was as part of my studio clear out where I was sharing some of my favourite books. And I think I mentioned this book in that one. But this is his newest book, also published by Talens and Hudson actually. This is Raucous Invention, The Joy of Making. Now this is a heavy book, so I'm just going to clear some space just to try and fit it on. But it is chunky and there is so much in this. So loads and loads of photos. Hearld does a lot of collage and I just love his work. There's always so much texture. As you can see, it's a little bit creaky, but yeah, pictures of his home, very, very inspiring to me. There's always so much to look at in his books. And yeah, I just really, really love this. It's going to be really fascinating to read a bit more about him as well. Like I said, I do recommend his workbook as well. But this is really nice. I like the scale, I like the format, and yeah, there's just so much in here. His home seems absolutely filled with all these like curiosities and art. He's also an amazing typographer, so I really enjoy that aspect as well. But I'm very much looking forward to reading this and seeing more inside his home and yeah, just seeing more of his work because he's a very prolific artist and I just find his work really inspiring. So yeah, really looking forward to doing a proper rifle through that one. Okay, so that was the art books. Now I'm going to move on to sketchbooks. So back in August I was very lucky enough to be invited to go to the Jackson's art studio in London and I was interviewed for their blog as part of their artist series. So I'll leave that link down below. Trying not to get my reflection in here, but they kindly gifted me this watercolour sketchbook. So I have never tried a Jackson's art sketchbook, so let's open this up and then we don't have to see my face, my chin. Okay, so this is 160 GSM acid-free cotton blend watercolour paper with a sewn binding, suitable for wet and dry, 48 sheets. So really good size. I really like this matte cover. It's pretty weighty, it's quite hefty. The black always makes the white balance go off a little bit. Wow, it does lay really flat actually. Yeah, really flat. So I really like that. There is a slight tooth to this paper, so it doesn't feel too bad, but I can see it more than I can feel it. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. 2025 has been the year of sort of watercolours for me, so I'm still sort of finding my way with different sketchbooks when I'm using that medium, but this is a really nice space to be able to put down my colours. I mean, I've still got plenty of pages left in the Venezia sketchbook I'm currently using, but then I'll move on to this one. I'm looking forward to doing that, and I will share my thoughts when I do, of course. Now onto a tried and tested sketchbook, which is the Royal Talens. So this is the Royal Talens Art Creation Sketchbooks. If you've seen my video where I rank sketchbooks, I'll leave that linked as well, then you'll know that these are like my OGs. These are the ones that kind of kick-started my career because I did my daily art challenge in them. And I actually got this in TK Maxx, so I picked this one up. I also saw some other sizes, so the smaller ones and the bigger ones, but I just got the one. This one was $4.99, so a really good price. So I recommend checking out TK Maxx. This was just in with like all the diaries and notebooks section, so definitely recommend having a little look there. I still have a couple that I bought I think it was when I went to Vienna a few years ago, so I didn't really need this, but as I say, I do go through these quite quickly. I love the colours. So this is the purple one, and this is the 13 by 21 centimetre size, which are the ones that I reach for the most. So just a little PSA that they're in TK Maxx at the moment. Maybe they'll be in TJ Maxx if you're in the States, but I just wanted to share that one, so I picked that up too. Okay, next up, let's do these. So this is the Zig Clean Colour Real Brush Pens. Now, I recently did a video on these brush pens, so again, I'm going to leave loads of links. If I run out of links in the cards, I'll put it in the description box. But I did review these after my friend Omar Wynn kindly gifted me some that she wasn't using. And I picked these up because there were a few gaps in my collection missing. So I got the Pale Colours 2 set. Now, there are two of these. I did double check before I bought them that I am like repeating, but it was my favourite, so it was okay. It was the grey and then this light blue. So let's swatch these out. I definitely felt like I was missing a few greens. Now the only one I'm a bit unsure of in this set was the green shadow, but I'm really looking forward to testing some of these other ones. If you want to see the rest of the colours I already have, that will be in that other video, but this is one of the ones I found myself using the most so far, which is 303 Shadow Mauve. One of my favourite blues in brush pens. I really like how soft that is. Then we have the Green Shadow number 49. This is like a soft sort of turquoise. It's a little bit bright for a lot of the landscapes that I do, but I wonder if I can combine it with others. I also really like how it looks next to that blue. Then another repeat, which is also one that I've been using a lot, is 904 Fog Grey. A really nice grey. It does have a purple tint to it, so really, really lovely. Again, goes with that blue really nicely. Now on to these new colours, which I'm very excited about. This first one is 422 Pastel Green. Oh yeah, that's my kind of green, so it's much more yellow toned than you can see from the one above, which is cool toned, so this one's slightly warmer. And again, I can really build that up nicely and combine it with other colours, so I think that one will definitely get a huge amount of use from me. Then next up we have 41 Light Moss Green. Okay, so this one is slightly grey toned, but again, I'm always looking for more muted colours in brush pens. And I can definitely see that working in my landscape, so I think that pairs with that one before really, really beautifully. Last up in this set is 607 Milk Tea. So a really, really soft sort of taupey beige colour. It's got a pink tint to it as well, so that's really, really nice. I can definitely see these bottom three working together, and then with that lovely blue, I think that would make a perfect palette for landscapes. So really happy with those, and I did buy these from Amazon. They were on offer, so I think it worked out about £2 per pen. So a really good price, and yeah, definitely good supplements to the other colours in my collection. Okay, so that's the brush pens. Let's move up here. So I do have some more pastels. So I bought this green set when I went to London in the video where I toured 3 different art shops in London. So this was from Unison Son, and I really enjoyed using these. So I also bought this Autumn Mini Set. So again, this is Unison Colour Pastels, and there are 8 half sticks in here. I saw this whilst I was in Unison Sons, and I decided not to get it, but then I did have buyer's remorse, so I bought this from Jackson's Art. I mean, this is perfect. These are such lovely colours. I am very slowly starting to get into the vibe of autumn. If you saw my vlog last week, I did a painting which really got me inspired with autumnal colours. So I feel like, I bought this back in summer and now it's perfect timing because these are the colours that I'm seeing outside my window. So some really lovely yellows, some greens, a really nice cool toned green as well, and then some mauvey purples and some really lovely fiery oranges and a red. And these are so vibrant. I really like the Unison pastels. So I'm going to swatch these out. We've got Additional 16, Red Earth 11, which is darker, Brown Earth 23, which is that lovely purple colour, and then a darker version of that, which is Brown Earth 6. So you kind of get a lighter and a darker version here. Same with this is Yellow 2, and then a more brown toned version and darker one of that is YGE 12. Then we have this lovely green, which will pair really nicely with my other green mini set. This is Green 14. And then instead of a darker version of that, we've gone more blue toned and much cooler with dark number 7. So really looking forward to using these, and I'm going to be combining them with other mediums rather than just using them on their own, because I find that I do like the texture that they add, but I don't really know where to start with just pastel-based artwork, so I'm going to be combining it with my other mediums. Okay, before we get onto the last package of paints, I do want to share something a little bit different. So this was very much inspired by Emma Carlisle, who did a video on her Patreon. So these are some inks. So I bought these from Budley Crafts. So again, I'll leave everything linked down below. But I bought some distress inks. Let me know if you want me to do a video on these, but I'm going to be using these for prepping paper, which is also how Emma uses those. This will be really good for putting down lots of colour. I've got quite a few here, so I'm not going to swatch them all, but I do want to share a little bit with how they lay down and how they work. Now these are for crafting, so they're not technically, art supplies, but I don't see why you can't use them as that, and I'm pretty sure they are light fast. Tim Holtz is a really reputable brand. I actually used a lot of Tim Holtz products when I was doing scrapbooking quite a few years ago. Now you guys know I'm all about mixed media, so I will be using these as base layers and then going on top with brush pens and acrylics and lots of different mediums, so I'll be doing lots of tests with these. But I'll show you with this one. So this one is old paper. Now I do have some other Tim Holtz products, so the distress crayons are also from this line, so I'll link that down below because I do really enjoy those too. So yeah, I'll basically just be smudging them on like this, and already there's so much lovely texture there. And I just think that they're nice and pale enough to create a base that I can work on top of. I talked about that in the vlog last week about having pre-prepared backgrounds. And again, I'm all about texture, so I think that will work really, really nicely as a texture layer, and also so it's not going straight onto a white paper base. So I can't wait to use those. This paper, this is the Royal Talens sketchbook, it is sinking in and creating a bit of a mottled effect, which you can see there. So I'll do some different tests on other paper too. But there's a bit of time before it sinks in here, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to working on top of these. I might combine it with gouache or even my Unison pastels. So that's a look at the Tim Holtz Distress Ink pads. You can get them bigger as well, but I just got the little ones, so thank you Emma for enabling me to buy these. They look really, really fun and I can't wait to test them out with more mediums. Okay, now last up was an order from Jackson's quite recently. So first up, I did buy this. And this was heavily influenced by Helen Cryer, so I watched her recent haul, and then last week I made an order at Jackson's. I'll leave a link to Helen's haul down below as well. I'm always influenced by Helen's purchases. But I really like the look of her travel brush that she got, so I bought this one, which is different. This one is a round Midas Touch. This looks so lovely. I've never had a brush like this before, but it looks so helpful for when you are plein air or going away, and I just really like how protected it can be. So my very first travel brush, and yeah, I think I'll get a lot of use out of this one. I chose a round one because that is my most used brush, and I think this size is going to be perfect for a lot of things. It feels like a good weight. It's not too heavy either, so that's really good. It feels really nice. It feels very fancy actually with the wood and then the gold. So yeah, feeling like this is too fancy for me, but I'm really looking forward to using this, and I'll have to give it a go outside and take it with me for some plein air adventures soon. Okay, so talking of plein air, the next thing I want to show you is something I bought later in the summer, which is these mini watercolour set for urban sketches. This is by Szmal. As I said, 2025 has been the year of watercolour for me, and I was really intrigued by this. I saw lots of people using these when they went to the Urban Sketches Symposium in Poland, and yeah, I was totally suckered in. This was on offer on Jackson's when I bought it, so I decided to get the blue tin. So it's really, really dinky, really cute. I already have quite a few Szmal paints in my watercolour palette, so I already know I really like the formulation, but I just thought this would be fun. I do want to do more plein air work, and I was really taken by these colours, so they look quite different here. I'm thinking of doing a whole video on this. I know that there are some on YouTube, but if you want to see that from me and maybe do an urban sketching plein air adventure, do let me know in the comments. There's some space here to add more. I do have some empty pans that I can use, but I'll be keen to see all the variety I can get from just these swatches, so perhaps for once I'll actually pack light and do a limited colour piece. But yeah, really lovely colours. I think it'll be interesting because some of these colours I don't necessarily think of for urban sketching, but that's what this set was specifically made for. But yeah, some really lovely tones that obviously we can mix together to create lots of new colours. I'm really looking forward to using this, and yeah, such a cute little dinky palette, so perfect for plein air. Maybe I'll take my travel brush with me as well, and we can do some adventures there. So I haven't swatched or used that yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And then let's go into this box. So a few tubes in here. Okay, seeing as we are doing watercolours, I'll start there. So I bought a quinacridone gold. So there are a few colours that I want to swap out of my current watercolour palette, especially now we're into the autumn winter seasons. So there are a few in here that I won't get as much use of and want to swap out. So I think this one down here, which is a Rosa Gallery watercolour, and maybe a pink, I'll swap out. So I want to add in this quinacridone gold. So this was recommended. I'm always so grateful to those of you in my comments when I ask for your advice for what to add to my palette. So this is a golden yellow pigment, and I think it will be really useful for mixing as well. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that. And then the other one I got, which was also very highly recommended by all of you in my comments, is green gold. Both of these are Daniel Smith extra fine watercolours. I use a lot of Daniel Smith. I think most of my palette is Daniel Smith, and I really enjoy using them. So green gold was recommended a few times. Sure, I have a lot of greens in my palette already, but I use so many, and I do want to swap out this one that I've mixed myself, which was Hansa Yellow Medium and Ultramarine, and swap this one in just to see how that fares with the other ones I've got. So I'll put some swatches again on screen of these, but really looking forward to adding them to my palette. I feel like that's a good autumn swap in. Okay, so that's my watercolour plans. And then the other two that I got is actually some Holbein gouache. Generally when I use gouache, I do use Daler Rowney or Winsor & Newton, but I did buy a Holbein Smalt Blue gouache earlier this year, and I absolutely loved it. I'm going to be doing a YouTube video about my favourite art supplies of 2025 soon, in early December, and that will definitely make the list, so I wanted to try out a few other ones. If I like these, I'll definitely be looking at buying more when I go to Japan next year. But again, this is the Elm Green G849. This is from their Traditional Colours of Japan Iridori range. Now this was also recommended to me in the comments, and it looked beautiful when I looked it up. It's been sat on my wish list for ages, and I decided to bite the bullet. So again, I'll swatch this, but it's a really lovely green, totally up my alley in terms of being more olive toned and also very warm. So really looking forward to using this. Again, I think it's perfect for autumn and my seasonal colour palette change, and I can just see myself using this next summer as well. So really lovely tone there. And then I also bought a sepia. So I do have a Van Dyke brown, which is dried up and there was barely anything left in the tube. So I decided to buy a new brown, but try it out from the Holbein range. So this is Sepia G600, and I just needed a dark tone brown. This is also really helpful for mixing, and I do use brown when I want to make darker greens as well. So really looking forward to using this one. I think it would be really helpful to go alongside my usual colour palette with gouache. So I do have a separate tin from my basket of gouache, which is like my go-to colours. So I think this will be perfect to go with those. And that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed my haul. Quite a range of different things, lots of mixed media as always, but I'm really looking forward to using them all, trying out my sketchbooks when I get to them, getting more inspiration from the books, and also combining them together, especially with like the pastels and the ink pads, to see what textures I can create. Let me know what you think of my haul, if you have any of these and how you use them. I can't wait to chat with you in the comments, and thank you for watching. A huge thank you to my patrons. Without them, I wouldn't be able to make these 3 videos here on YouTube, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I will see you next Sunday in my new YouTube video. See you later.